This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. I'm joined by the one and only Kalle Saulerland. How are you?
How are you, mate? You good?
I'm good.
Yeah, looking well.
I'm good.
Smart new jackets. Very nice.
Repping MTK.
Looks very good.
Always
Great
repping
logo.
MTK, sir.
Great logo. Great logo.
Right, there's quite a bit to talk to you about. Let's start with what you've announced today. You've announced that there'll be 3 new weight classes.
Absolutely. Size matters.
Size, apparently so.
Yep.
You've announced the Bantamweight one right now.
We have indeed. Well, according to the internet, everything is out there already. It's good that everyone was so relaxed about it all. I was still gathering certain agreements until, well, we had to postpone it half an hour.
ESPN put a list out yesterday. Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. No, I didn't see
a
that.
rumoured list that they put out yesterday.
It's all good. This is good. It's good that people are talking about it. I mean, I'd rather they talk about it than they don't talk about it.
But the confirmed ones of what you know, who are here today, and also Ryan Burnett.
Yeah, we've got a couple more bantams that are confirmed. We're in talks with a lot of people. We'll announce, like we did with the cruiser. We want to keep people happy and guessing and talking about it. You know, we've got lots of space and time to fill from now till July as well, when the draw is. So, yeah, but I think, isn't that amazing? 2 weight classes still to come. 3 weights altogether now.
Unbelievable.
It's 24 fighters.
It's going to be a busy time. So, Emmanuel Rodriguez, newly crowned IBF champion, who beat Paul Butler.
Manny Rodriguez.
All right, Manny Rodriguez.
Yes, on the bat, Manny Rodriguez.
Okay, Manny Rodriguez.
It's a cool name, Manny.
Zolani Tete, and also Ryan Burnett. So, 3 champions, and we've got obviously another 5 fighters to announce.
Yep. What better way to start than to kick off with 3 world champs? Yeah. So I think bantam's one of those weight classes. And I'm not going to say I'm a bantam expert because I promote mainly mainland Europe, and mainland Europe bantams don't really fly too good. Well, there's not too many of them. But I've got to say these 3 that we've signed up for. I mean, Burnett is special. Everyone's seen that, knows that. Tete is an exceptional fighter. Southpaw, of course, makes it even more of a challenge for an opponent, more challenging. And then Rodriguez at the weekend. Butler's very good. I mean, he's a very excellent fighter, but he didn't win the round. You know? Didn't lay a glove on him. So, you see the level you're talking. And the other 5, there'll be a mix of a couple of fresh faces, and there's an interesting fight in Tokyo, the end of May as well.
McDonough and Inoue.
Yeah.
The winner of that potentially to go in?
I might even fly over for that. Yeah, that's a good fight. It's a great fight.
So the winner of that will possibly be in it?
Well, with Inoue, we're very close. With Jamie, we've spoken to Eddie and said, look, we'd be interested, but we said we'd leave it till after the fight. So let them do their thing, and then we'll see. I'm sure we can work things out if he wins. The same with Inoue. So I'll be hopeful. Can't say, I'm not the type to say things that I haven't got an agreement with. But we haven't got an agreement with the winner, but I'd say we have ways to make things work.
Is there any other...
Make them an offer they cannot refuse.
Why not? Is there any other Brits that could potentially be in this? Aside McDonough aside, is there any other Brits that could be?
Yeah, in the other weights, definitely as well.
In this weight?
In this weight, there's one we're looking at, you know. Yeah, maybe. But it's not going to be quite as... I mean, the super mids were an exception. There was 4 out of the 8 were British, you know, the super middleweights this year. They won't have a situation like that again, I don't think. There's no weight class that's that loaded with Brits. I think you're looking at a lot more US interest this year as well with the weights we've chosen. And of course, you bring in, like, if an Inoue which should win, and you bring in Asia, and you know, the tournament's global. There are 3 world champions today, 3 continents. exciting times.
When will the bantamweight one start?
The bantamweight one start. They all start the same. It'll be the,
Yeah, but I don't know the other two, so I can't. You know.
No, but we will announce the other one probably next week or the week
Start in
after.
September.
Yeah. No, the draw will be in July,
Yeah.
like last year. You know. You missed it. James came out to Monaco. We had a massive party.
I heard.
On the boat. You know, it was good
Ain't
fun.
nothing like a Cali party.
Absolutely.
Well, the other two weight classes, obviously, rumours are light welter.
Especially in Monaco.
Yeah. Light welter. Can you confirm?
Light welter is an interesting weight class. Yes.
All right. Well, that's the rumoured one.
Well,
So we half know that it is the light welter one.
you
But
know,
okay.
Where there's sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire, and sometimes there's not. You know.
What's intriguing
I'll
me
keep
is
you a bit guessing. I mean,
the intriguing one is the other weight
the
class.
whole load out here today. It's, it's
I
a
know.
bit boring then.
The other weight class is intriguing me. Are we going higher?
Oh yeah. I would always expect to have at least one weight above middleweight and above. So I call the big weights called a middleweight and above. And
Are you going heavyweight?
Heavyweight? No, we're not going heavyweight. No, I'd love to do heavyweight.
So you're ruling out heavyweight for this one?
I would never rule out anything. I would never rule out anything.
Are you doing the Cruisers Part 2?
Never say never. Like James Bond, never say never. You know.
Okay. All right, I get why you want to keep
Cruisers
it kind of.
Part 2's exciting, light heavy's exciting. Super middleweights, I think it's take another year to get some new faces in there. Middleweights, you've got to rule out because Canelo, Golovkin are sort of the middleweight division at the moment. Billy Joe, of course, as well. But you need to get two of those three in. You know, Billy Joe and one of the two that are fighting. They're fighting 15th of September, so that ain't gonna work. You know, and can't compete with an HBO pay-per-view date in. You know, with a Mexican fighter, I think that would do rather well on the tickets. So, you know, it's fair enough. You know, we'll bide our time there. Bide our time. I had a nice meeting with Tom Loeffler, who's the manager of Golovkin. Maybe we'll talk for the future. Maybe the third season will be middleweights. I'd love to do middleweight. Middleweight's a great weight class.
Rumours on the internet yesterday suggesting that we're in
is it
for
a private one or is this business?
This is business.
Ah, okay.
We're in for a Callum Smith versus Chris Eubank final.
Okay. And I thought you were going to come up with something like a Tinder account or something. Okay. A what?
A Callum Smith versus Chris Eubank Jr. Super middleweight World Boxing Super Series.
Potentially, if Groves is out if George would be out for the final, then yeah, that'd be a fight we would look at as a substitute, of course.
But isn't George in camp at the moment?
Yeah, but it's a question of
whether he'll be ready for the date.
Yeah, it's when are you ready? You know, being camp, you mean camp for something that's a year away. You can be something that's 6 months away. You know, but the tournament has a timeline. Like the first time when we announced the tournament, go back and look at the old IFL video from Monaco, from the draw. And we said the date is the date of the finals. Of course, you can push back a few weeks here and there, but you've got to keep the format of the tournament, or else you're going back to the issues of the Super Six and you'll suddenly be in a rut. But you do everything to try and keep that final, everything. But there's a point when, you know, things in a tournament move on. You couldn't. I mean, Federer pulls out the Wimbledon final, you're left without a final. We have a substitute process that someone comes in, and that's the situation. But as I'm sitting here now, we just don't know. We're waiting for the final reports. I'm working out on solutions, scenarios, which makes people talk because people talk in the background. I get where the rumours come from, but there is no. I would say fair timeline, and whether it's 11 or 9, but 10 days. But if it's 12 days, don't shoot me, and if it's 8 days...
What, we'll find out in 10 days? Is that what you're saying?
Within roughly 10 days' time, both finals will be announcing. So the other final, Usyk's fine, he's recovered, he's in training, we're just working out, the event team is working out exactly what's going on there, you know. So, like I said, that final stands. The other final, we're waiting to make a firm decision based on the fitness levels. You know, I mean, everyone's got to be fit, of course, to be in the final.
Have you got a date for both of those finals currently?
The original date, and I'll leave the cruiserweights out.
Right, the super middleweight.
The super middleweights, we've never announced a date. I have said publicly that we had a date held at the O2 in London. It's not an announcement, that's Kalle, not the World Boxing Super Series even. Kalle saying we have a date held,
this is
potentially
true.
for the final of June.
Yeah.
But there was ever a press release saying the 2nd of June. But at the same time, of course, we will look as far as we can stretch on the final, but it has to stay within the realms of the tournament. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if you start breaking the rules of the tournament in the first season, you'll end up with a format that is topsy-turvy forever. Because you can't do finals in the middle of a second season of the next season. I mean, you can't play the last game of the Premier League.
This has got to be done and dusted before you start the new season.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you can't hold up a tournament because of the new season. So we're left with a decision to make. But ultimately it's down to the fitness levels, whether the person is able to box or not.
Okay. Will that super middleweight
But it's pretty
final...
obvious that we're trying to stretch as far as we can, or else we would have been on June 2nd, wouldn't we?
Obviously.
With a replacement final.
Will the super middleweight final definitely be in London, or not necessarily?
No, not necessarily. I do not rule out Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know why I came up with that. I spoke to a pal of mine who's from there this morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rock out.
Good place.
Okay, so
fun place.
It's not necessarily...
No, it could be anywhere.
Could be anywhere.
It's a global tournament.
Is it likely to be in July?
We're not UK promoters, it's not German promoters, it's not American promoters, it's a global event.
MTK Global, baby.
Absolutely. MTK Global, there you go. It's about this global, it's a global sport, boxing. We never forget Thriller in Manila, Rumble in the Jungle, all these great events, they took place because boxing isn't restricted. I remember when they were doing Klitschko, Joshua, they were looking at like Nigeria and places. Imagine, you couldn't imagine like Premier League match suddenly wandering off to Nigeria, wouldn't happen. But boxing's special like that. It can pop up anywhere, and we like a surprise.
I know you do. Is this final, the super middleweight one, likely to be in July?
Is it likely to be in July?
Yes.
I can't really comment on that because I don't know what the doctor's going to say. We don't know where we stand. So when we know that, we'll know when the final is going to be. I can't say no more because I'm discussing someone's medical conditions.
Okay.
It's like private matters.
Kalle, if George Groves is unavailable for this final...
But George. He will be trying everything to get fit.
Totally. But that's the final we want to see as well.
And he's a fighter. If you look at him, he wears his heart on his sleeve. There's no way he's going to get into a ring unless he's totally fit. No. So that's the way he is. He's always fought his career like that. From the first time I saw him boxing on an undercard in Manchester, he's a man's man. He's a proper fighter. So it's, for me, it's a question of is he simply fit to be in the final? And it's not like people saying, "Oh, you want to chop Jordan one?" And do me a favour. The final we want is the final, which is the two winning semi-finalists.
But everyone wants to see that.
Of course, but what do you want me to do if the finalist is not ready for the final?
Okay. Yeah.
So I will try and find a solution that makes everyone happy, but don't shoot me for it. No, seriously. I've been lynched.
All right, I understand. I think, okay.
No,
Kalle, if George Groves is unavailable, is Eubank the only option, or is he your number one option?
He's an option.
An option.
Right.
So not necessarily...
An option.
He's an option.
Yeah.
Who else is an option at this stage?
I'll be showing my hand in poker. I wouldn't tell you that now, could I? But look, you look at it and
would it be only a fight that's been in the tournament already?
Yeah, but first of all, it's not a Kalle decision; it's a board decision. There's a board, there's an 8-man board, so it's down to them as well. I'll make my recommendations. Personally, I would like to see someone from within the tournament.
Right.
Make that very clear because I think it fits to a storyline. So there are other options, and I think options that will be, if the time comes in the next days, we will be talking to, because we've got to be prepared for everything. That's the job of the tournament, to move the tournament along. It's not a boxing promotion company. It's not a one-off. It's a you see it now with an announcement today of the second season. It's a process. So we can't just go into this blind and let it be run by the heart. You've got to sort of like follow guidelines and follow that we all get what we've so much enjoyed seeing this season. We mustn't forget what it's thrown up so far in this very short space of time. You know.
The cruiserweights.
Yes.
There was rumours again the other day that the final could end up in Russia.
Russia, USA, Latvia. I've heard it all. I even heard the other day. I heard Sydney.
G'day, mate.
Don't get me wrong. Love it.
So where do you stand with Saudi Arabia currently?
Can't answer it because don't know anything about it. Not my area. Very much separated. That's the event side of things. I think doing an event in Jeddah is something that's very, very cool. And I think that it's a place that hasn't seen big time boxing yet. And I think that you see that the UFC I think is going there. The wrestling was just there. It's obviously a place that's developing very much in the sports scene. So I think I'd love to promote an event over there.
What?
But once again, I'm not involved, so I can't really comment.
Why don't you put it out to Dubai? That'd be great.
Mate, I'd love to do an event in Dubai. I'd love to. In fact, I have a trip to Dubai in a couple of weeks, and maybe we'll be talking about doing some of the next season in Dubai. Got some interesting discussions going on, but those aren't really.
Get me involved.
Once again, it's not really my area. I know you're over there a lot because you like a bit of the glamour life, KUGAN. But I've got to work, work. Last time I went to Dubai, I was hanging around the beach in a suit and tie. Not exactly my idea of fun, watching people with pina coladas while I'm sitting there drinking hot water and I'm choking on with a suit and tie.
All right, okay.
You don't believe me, do you?
No, I do actually. Yeah. I actually do believe you, yeah. Okay. Coy as always, Kalle, but I understand.
I'm a very shy person.
Not shy.
Coy.
Coy
is shy, similar.
No, it's different. Coy is different.
Same. Okay, we'll go with Coy.
Okay, we'll go with Coy. So, what we can learn, what we've assumed from today.
Punchline to come out here now. Come. You're just cracking me up again.
Right. You've announced the bantamweights today. We know 3 of the fighters out of the possible 8. Confirmed, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think you've guessed the other 5 probably somewhere already.
Okay, rumours again.
Rumours, right.
You're going to announce another 2 weight classes.
Yeah.
When?
Next 2 weeks, probably the next one. We could have gone with the first 2 today. But I just think, like I said, let's talk about the bantams today. Let's analyse.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. Like I said, I'm going to plug that fight. Inouye McDonald is a great fight. It's a great fight. I'm going to be watching that fight.
Okay. We're going to go out to Japan. I'd love to see you out in Japan. I'd like to follow you around with the camera in Japan. Right, can you speak Japanese? No, actually, don't go there. Okay.
I'm not too bad. Sushi, Asahi beer. That's Japanese. Asahi beer. You ever had Asahi?
Yeah, I have. Love it. Love it. Okay, I'm doing a summary of what you've said today. All right, so not to get people.
I feel like I'm a psychologist chair or something.
All right.
Like that.
So
the couch out, Talk to me about your problems, Kalle. I mean, this will be longer than one of your Eddie Hearn interviews.
Well, nothing as long as them. Right, you ready? Kalle, focus. Come on.
Do people watch those from start to finish? I mean, I love talking to Ed, but
83% retention.
Really?
Minute 1 to end.
I've got to watch for one longer. Yeah.
Kalle. So, again, regards to Smith and Groves, it's unclear at the moment. Is that all you're saying?
Absolutely.
It's unclear.
I'm working on solutions for all the scenarios. Hoping on the positive, but I'm working on all the scenarios through to the negative, which leads to rumours.
Yes.
Now those rumours might turn out to be true. If there's a negative, if there's a positive, I can't tell that. I'm not doctor. I'm not George. I'm not his trainer. I'm not I'm not the person who is ultimately getting into a ring. You know, so it's a question of the timeline of the tournament. That's the only thing I can stretch and see what we can do the best. But once again, there is a timeline. We announced that the whole tournament is based on the timeline and seasons.
Okay.
It was a one-off tournament, so wait till Christmas.
But you said Gassiev is looking good. That's fine.
Gassiev has always been fine.
Okay.
Usyk was injured.
No, but I said you second Gassiev is looking good. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
That fight is going to be how it is. That's what I meant.
It's small injury.
And that's going to be in Trinidad, yeah?
I said one of.
You weren't joking?
No, I wasn't joking. No,
Seriously?
No, seriously. Would you like to come with me on the trip to check out, do a site visit?
Yes.
See if it's a possibility.
Yes.
Yeah,
I've got a couple of mates in Trinidad.
Two-week Trinidad and Tobago trip.
I've got a couple of mates.
Sign that off for the board. I don't think they'll be too happy with me.
All right.
Disappear for 2 weeks to Trinidad.
I won't come home alive.
Check it. Not with me, you won't.
All right, okay. Kalle, listen, I'm not going to go into you anymore. Thank you very much for talking to Eiffel TV.
It's such a pleasure to see you, KUGAN.
And just keep us posted.
Absolutely. Like post-it notes, I'll be keeping you
Because,
posted.
you know, the cruiserweight final.
I rediscovered Twitter yesterday.
Really?
Back on Twitter.
Oh, good.
It's always good.
Because one man...
It was funny, when I land in the UK, I sort of go to Twitter. it's like, oh, you're in the UK, got to use Twitter. It's like a communication tool. And I've got people like sending me messages. You don't reply to my message. I'm like, sorry, who the fuck are you? And I look at I didn't realize there was an inbox in Twitter where you can like direct message people.
Yeah, careful that you don't confuse that with public tweets.
No.
I wouldn't like to be in your DMs.
Female followers on there that I definitely wouldn't like to reply to in public. Joking.
Okay, obviously.
My wife occasionally watches these things, but all my lovers. But joking aside, of course we'll keep you posted. Of course.
Okay.
It's not that we want to go off air. It's just that there's not really much to say apart from waiting. The fact that we're waiting shows the willingness and the wantingness to create the best situation out of an unfortunate situation with an injury. But that is part and parcel of our sport, unfortunately.
Kalle Saulerland, thank you very much for talking to Eiffel TV. We'll definitely catch up with you soon. I know there's people waiting to talk to you, so I appreciate your time today.
Over and out, KUGAN. Thank you.
Respect.